we just making one decision.
Talking about that process, back and forth with the community and check-in. So isn't the span
designer.
Yeah, so maybe we can be a conversation also with Emily, because it's Live Well who is spearheading the project, right? Yeah. So maybe it will be good to have a conversation with Emily about that aspect, yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like, this is something where, I mean, we are trying to see what we want.
Yeah.
Is it just the section where the old art, where the old post office used to be?
Yeah, the last, the piece of land.
I was just asking if there's also about the
It's
triangle.
about to,
In front of the market.
so they have a relationship.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
In front of the design center.
In front of the barber.
That's always been a little park, when they have the Kingston cleanup day, I always go to that little park. Like I've adopted that little triangle there.
Oh, we have somebody that are not part of the park, huh?
We had a blast over there last week. We just had, I had such a good time just hanging out on the site.
There's a lot of traffic. There's a lot
Yeah.
of people.
Yeah, you get in there though, you get in there and it feels completely different.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I'm so much video, I just want talking it as I go along.
Yeah,
It's super interesting.
I actually meant that in a good way, it's got a lot of visibility.
Yes.
It
feels kind of safe.
Oh, that's cool, that's awesome, I haven't
Yeah,
actually
it's a
walked
bad
in
person, oh, maybe you can do like the stage, you know, and
Wow.
like, you know, whatever, like,
Well, it's seated, we're gonna be seated overnight.
yeah.
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 So,
We another issue to address.
I hate to be the one that is that, but you know, time is going. Yeah, you know what, we got the email with the information.
Yeah.
So I guess that, yeah, the conversation is just starting. So this is the beginning of the conversation. Obviously you have a timeline, you need to produce something by February, I understand. Yeah, but yeah, let's see how it goes for this month. And maybe the commission can have a conversation, discussion about this. I really would like to talk to Emily and see different, yeah.
I invited her up to this meeting, but it was, you know, she.
No, that's fine, and I think that the Live Well meeting was last Friday, and the Legal Commission meets on Wednesday. I'm not sure if it's maybe next Wednesday. I will try to follow up with her, because, yeah, I mean, obviously, I'm not telling you guys what to do, but I would love to see, you know, that to be both way the collaboration, you know, it's asking the artists to work with the kids and to create something in the community. It would be great to have, you know, some resources for that.
Right, and also, I mean, there's also like we have the vision as the artist and the vision also
Yeah.
as citizen of Kingston, you know, but like how you see, but also like how you see this space, you know, helping you in your profession, and that's, you know, so it has like
Yeah.
lots of different moments.
Absolutely,
So,
absolutely.
Yeah, we are hoping to be able to create a relationship. And I also wanted to say that I'm on the tree commission,
Mhm.
and I think the tree commission, you know, it's a art commission. So
Oh, that's good.
I think they should like
That's
lead
good.
all of the commissions.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes
That's great. Well, thank you very, very,
Thank
very
you.
much. I really hope that this is just the first time that we have you guys here. So hopefully
Do
next
you have
time.
cards?
Yes.
And also just a plug, so
Sure.
on September 20th, which is a Tuesday,
Uh-huh.
it's Tuesday, we are doing, we're going to be at the Y Artist Fest,
Okay,
On the 20th.
20th of September from 5:30 to 7:30, and we're going to be there doing surveys and talking to people about the project, and we'll have some images and, you know, of the squares, and we're going to start sort of generating some ideas from the community at that event.
great.
We used to be there on the idea to like the other one kind of like.
They're going to be staffing the table, because we're having it long.
Yeah,
So that's something, yeah, thank you. That's
it's always great. Well, thank you very much. I mean, you're welcome to stay if you want. It's just that I guess that we are gonna go down in business. Because
We will let you,
we have kids a report for 2 months. We have the report like for the last 2 months, I don't know. Yeah, I'm I guess that we will go with the agenda with your report.
Okay.
Just one thing, I don't have a card, but I do oversee the Industry Sculpture Garden in Boyceville. It's called
Oh.
Park, it's a former totem Indian trading post, it's
Yeah.
the totem poles on Route 28 next.
Yeah.
Next to the
Yeah.
So that is my property where
Oh.
my husband and I started a
It's
nonprofit.
you.
Yes, me, this is our self-guided sculpture tour that Ulster County Tourism did for us a
Oh,
couple
lovely.
years ago, so I don't.
I'll give it to you.
Oh, wait, the website, emeraldpark.org.
Perfect. Well, thank you very, very much.
You're very welcome, it's a pleasure.
Thank you.
Is it my turn now?
It's your turn.
Okay, it's my double report, since I deferred last month, and I will be as brief as I possibly can, because I've given you a lot of detail, it's on the website. Was happy to report that we finally hired, an ARPA manager to manage the $17.3 million federal funding project. He starts next Monday, and he's gonna be co-located in my office.
Also, you're gonna have,
He will be next door where Summer Smith was. Summer Smith is now,
where is Summer?
they have put her in the mayor's conference room.
No.
Oh, it's beautiful. They poked her up. She now looks like a real press secretary.
I was going to say, but then there is no more conference room there.
Well, yes, but, the mayor will be using this as well as that, you know, I mean, it's- we've got to get creative here with space. So,
It makes sense to have her next to the mayor.
yeah, exactly, because they're in and out of each other's office all day, so it's easier for
Yeah.
both of them. And Bill will be next door to me in this.
And that makes sense too, so we
Yeah.
can advise him how to
Yeah,
spend the money.
so I'm just relieved. And as far as rolling out of the, 1.5 million, obligated for the arts, we don't know that any of that money will become available before the year's out. I mean, he has a lot to get situated. It's a
So I'm gonna
$17
meet
million
with him.
federal grant, huh?
I'm gonna meet with him because I'm the chair of the ARPA committee for the county.
Very happy.
And so Bill and I have already communicated, so I'll talk with him just a little bit about how we rolled out, spent
Great.
and everything like that, so.
Make sure that you tell
I
him to do
was gonna
the.
say, I'll definitely talk about the
Okay.
1.5 for the arts.
Yeah.
Key it is to keep it in there because
Okay.
it's so easy to get it.
Yep,
I know. So I'm just relieved about that. It's been hard.
that's
I
good.
think we pulled him out of retirement, actually. Well, he has a history with this. He could roll it out, so.
So that's good.
Yeah, so I'm really thrilled about that. And, for workforce development under the master plan, I am gonna actually start working more closely with, now that Allison Pugh has gotten, you know, her legs, she's got her
Yeah,
foundation.
she's now on the ground, yeah.
She is also in step with me about the concerns within the master plan for workforce development, sustainability of our existing creative workforce. So what I'm doing though, in partnership with BARD, starting October 18th and 25th, is we're going to do the first of a series of 4 workshops.
Sorry, Michelle, I found more, I put these in the rack downstairs.
Oh, perfect, thank you.
Sorry to interrupt.
We're going to be doing the first for October 18th and 25th is the first thing.
That's with Bob.
Kingston Library for hosting Margie Menard and her team from, Karen Unger and her team from Institutional Advancement. DJ, you're welcome to join us if you have time.
Just see if I can fit it into my schedule.
Yeah, Natalie Keuchel, who was our grants manager, Kit Potter here. We are going to be tag teaming on grant writing, the basics, 1 and
Okay.
2. And then we're gonna move into a next module. That is, October 18th and 25th, 5:30 to 7:30 both days. But then we'll be moving into grants management and what's critical, and please help me folks, because finance management, budgeting, preparing for your financial review, preparing for your audit. As I was consulting last year and then moving in as the Director of Arts and Cultural Affairs, that is still critical. Most of the organizations are a little overwhelmed when it comes to the finances and
Yes.
projected budgeting. What Allison Pugh, I met with Allison and Novo today, we are all concerned that organizations might be feeling a little bit too comfortable right now because the last couple of years they've received COVID-related funding.
Yeah.
And I'm concerned that they may be projecting out that this is still going to happen when in fact the Novo, myself and Allison all share the same concerns. We're gonna go back to
What about
2018,
before?
2019 next year when this stops. And looking into trying to help people, like I always say, do more,
Yeah,
but do
sustainable.
more with less, but do it better.
Yeah.
And that has been the culture of nonprofits for a long time, but I think we're gonna go into a little bit of a shockwave.
Yeah.
So Allison and I, Karen Unger and I, Margie Menard and I, and anybody else that wants to join us, we are going to start pumping out these training sessions, these seminars, these webinars that address the concerns that we see coming forward, Novo as well.
Question, did you say webinars?
The seminars,
Oh,
we're live.
so in the library.
Who can go to these? Anybody?
Well, for the grant writing,
Yeah.
well, for all of these, we are really targeting people who are in the business right now. We're targeting the organizations that have people writing grants.
But-
So
but
non-profits,
it-
non-profits.
Is it just the arts or is it larger
No.
nonprofits? That's
This
what
is
I'm-
creatives, this is mine.
Okay, so
Ah.
that's what I'm just trying to figure out. So there's some
Okay.
parameters. about
Yes,
who's
it's
showing up.
creatives.
Okay.
I kind of emphasize that in my report.
Because there's
Okay.
a lot of nonprofits, so you would get,
Yeah,
you would
exactly.
get a ton of people.
I'm handling creatives. I'm
Okay.
handling the arts and cultural master plan.
Okay, good.
So individuals, because when I first got here, I don't know if I reported to you, but it did have, it insinuated on the website that I help you with grants, and we had that
Yep.
creative
Yeah.
grant out.
Yeah,
My phone was.
and it was, yeah, it was
I
confusing.
couldn't tell individuals no, so I was staying up till 12 at night helping them
Yeah.
write this grant, and so the mayor said, take it off the website, put a master
Yeah.
plan up, and then let's deal with it with workshops.
Right.
So we're there now. So for the fall, we're gonna be rolling these out, but we gotta continue
Cool.
this.
So you say non-profits and creative individuals, artists or?
And businesses
Okay.
that are creative.
That are, oh, okay, so profit and non-profit too, but in the creative
Yes,
economy.
creative arts. And,
Perfect.
you know, we're really focusing, honing in on that NEA grant that comes up in February. Because in February, we're going to offer, if I can get as many people as I can, that's why I'm not talking about it yet, but if I can get as many grant professionals together who are not in conflict, that's why I can't ask, Matt or anybody else, or any of the organization, but people who are retired, if we can take over Ulster County Community College for a day, and anybody that's writing an NEA grant will offer you a free review. Okay, but you have to bring it, you have to
Yeah.
have it, everything in place, and we'll offer you a free review. I think that's a bit ambitious right now, but I would like to work towards that, where we can actually,
Who
because.
in our community is writing NEA grants? Those are big,
Well, they are, yeah.
you're doing NEA?
We haven't won one yet, but yes.
Artwork, we're talking artwork.
And the library, I think.
Just looking, yeah,
I was just curious, I mean, I
Yeah.
know that there are some artists.
We got for the Alianza, before we got the name, we got some money from Elia, now that I remember, and also for, yeah.
Yeah, easy.
Right. But I think-
A very modest.
we're still in the process of creating it, even though we put the dates down, but I think what we want to try to do with the grant writing 1 and 2, not only, the art of researching grants, the art of actually, making sure that this is a grant for you, but also how intrusive it is now with and then with the New York State grants and with the federal grants.
Yeah,
At least crack that open so that it's not so, overwhelming for
Yeah.
people. Because, I would love to go back to the days that we just like bring a box of grants down to Washington. By the time it's over, because the online grant process is really overwhelming.
I don't remember the name of.
They deserve the grant, but because they don't have, professional
It
grant
was like a
writers,
really foundation.
they just avoid even applying. Yeah, and the same thing with like NISCA grants, the up.
The gateway.
The gateway. It's really upsetting.
Exactly.
Exactly. So we're gonna try the first part, we're gonna try to tackle that.
Well, Matt is interested in doing that work too, so definitely some support from that.
Oh, good. Well, Matt is always supportive.
There's also a workshop coming up at Nikon.
Yeah,
It's
no,
hosted
Nikon.
in Albany for 3 days about how to be.
The
there.
camp
Yeah, that's
finance,
part of the
Yeah.
work.
actually, it's at Mohawk.
Well, it's one Albany for campus team director. So
I know, I've been
it's
trying to get on both of those
Yeah.
I
scholarships.
attended that and I
It's
attended,
Yeah,
well, see, I attended that and I attended Camp Finance and it really changed my life.
yeah.
But Camp Finance, and this is why we are really wanting to hone in on having these budgeting and finance management, preparing for audit, all
Yeah.
that. Because Camp Finance is so expensive.
Yeah.
It's out of reach for so many. And what we talked about this morning with Allison and Novo is that, Novo is even looking at, especially the money management part and how to become that for the city of Kingston, and helping creatives or nonprofits in general to address their financial concerns without having to break their budgets, paying bookkeepers and accountants.
Yeah.
Because boy, oh boy, are those bills, and we all know how heavy those bills are.
Yeah, Kid, but there is this foundation, I cannot remember, is foundation something that normally, at least before COVID, they were coming, they are based in the city, but they were coming all the way up to Albany and anything in between doing grant writing workshop, because I took one of them at the Poughkeepsie Library. They, and Margie hosted them.
Is it the foundation center?
It's
The foundation center. I knew the foundation was in the
This
next.
is what they do, and this is what they're going to do here in Kingston. Basically, they are training primarily in how to use their system. And then-
Exactly, because they have access to all those
Right.
libraries, yeah.
$40.
So you're partnering with them somehow?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, good, that was my question. Okay, perfect.
Yeah, so, yeah, we're rolling with that, but Allison, when I meet with her within the next couple of weeks, she's talking about a broader workforce development front, addressing that part of the master plan that we are definitely gonna dig into. Again, our concerns are retaining these jobs here.
Yeah,
We got them here now, we got a lot of people working here now, I'm gonna keep them working.
yeah,
So we have those concerns about sustainability.
Yep.
Making sure we are bringing the money down. When I interviewed, I said that. And, we have to, and I need the commission to help me as far as my office is concerned. We know my office is brand new. But eventually, we're looking towards moving my office into a grant-making organization, a granting organization. What does that look like? What would I be funding? I'd really like to start putting this on the agenda,
Interesting.
because it's gonna take about 3 years. We gotta go through hoops.
Yeah.
At the common council, we gotta go, Peter knows. All the hoops, but if we have our ducks in a row, it'll come sooner.
Yeah.
That we can at least create my office. I'm going to be co-located with the ARPA manager for the next 4 years.
that's
So with
really
that,
good.
can we move some of that over to my office? So when that's over, my office just continues that. I have some visions here, but, and I gotta study what other arts and cultural affairs municipal offices are doing and how they're doing it. But it's a lot of work to get that,
And
to get to
we-
that.
So we have, I know this is like long-term thinking, but, we have some issues at the county level that we can't fund certain things. Like we can't give monies to businesses per se. So we actually there's created something called UCEDA, which is the Ulster County. I forget the name of it, Development Association. Yeah, development wise. And so basically what we'll do is we'll fund UCEDA, and then UCEDA is then the grant making organization. So you want to think about, are there any regulations about the city actually funding specific businesses? Because there's favoritism, there's all that kind of stuff that needs to be avoided. So
That's gonna be his work too, right?
I'm sure that's going to come up with the.
And also the conflict of interests of what are the organizations getting the money and who is
Yeah.
part of the conversation.
Yeah, we spent a lot of time creating criteria for applications and making sure that it's, reaching the most need and widest geographic area. I mean, it's a little different with the city of Kingston, but for the county, we have to really think about, Kingston gets a lot of attention. And
Yeah.
a place like Shinnecock doesn't necessarily, so. But yeah, I really like where you're going with it. I think it's
And
amazing.
I'm really happy that you're not leaving us, because when you just said that you'll be working with the ARPA manager, that means you're still ours, because it's.
Well, he's always gonna be.
We're gonna be a commissioner. Anyway, let me move on because we
Sure.
have to get out at
Yep.
10. I'm gonna go right to, our city hall exhibition. As we all probably know, I wasn't supposed to even do any this year because, we were cracking open the master plan, but because of the, fallout over the 150th celebration of the city of Kingston not being very inclusive, the mayor
Yeah.
asked me to go ahead and take this on. And so the call for art ended on September 1st. I'm glad to report that we've got some brilliant art. Thank you to, Ward and Hubio and, some of the others who just hit the ground running, knocking on doors saying, please, submit. And I'm looking at the colors, I'm looking at the diversity, I'm looking at, everything that we are as a city of Kingston. I think this is going to be a great exhibition. And, like the Kit Potter production always goes, it's going to be a party. So I have Pablo Shine's trio playing, I have Matilda Little Eagle doing native storytelling. And so that is, to me, a continuum of the 150th celebration, because it's not over yet. We have the whole year. So I'm excited about that, and a part of one of the pieces that is going to be a part of the exhibition. It's not your normal call for art at all, but I think that everybody here is familiar with Nancy Ostrowski.
Okay.
The performing art painter that dances while she's listening to music and the resulting artwork.
She's gonna be there?
She's going to, we are groundbreaking. We are always groundbreaking. I talked to Joe Gonzalez earlier and I asked him about, where's the music in the art walk? And he just said, bring it. So I put him with Frank Corliss of the Bar Conservatory. I don't think that they had time to make this happen. And of course, this is just the beginning of the semester so far.
Yeah.
However, I was able to, because it's music in the parks, so I can fund it.
Oh, cool.
And so Nancy Ostrowski and Michael Bizio on the 17th at 2:00 will be at TR Gallo Park, right at the gazebo,
At 2:00?
on the 17th.
A little bit later.
And she will be painting to the theme of Kingston Revealed, the exhibition. We don't know where she's going yet. She goes slaves, she may go women, she may go.
But you cannot tell her what to do, yeah.
She's gonna listen to the music and dance to the music, and whatever she does is going on the wall downstairs for the exhibition. So this is a different way of calling for art. This is a different part of the art walk that we're not used to.
Yeah.
I'll take a bow, thank you. It's opening it up, that's great. So anyway, going into that, we have just finished translating a portion of the master plan.
Great.
So that's all done, we'll get that printed, hard copied and what have you, so we'll have both. It's not the whole master plan, but it's.
But at least there's the
Yes.
summary, right?
It's the summary and portion so that people can understand and walk through it. So that's all done. And the movies and music in the park series was amazing. I think that the best crowd that we had was for the Latin. Of course, when I say Latin, when I put on a Latin concert, when I say Brazilian jazz.
That was for Alessandra, right?
It was Alessandra and Encanto, and I just started seeing the crowd build, and I kept on looking and saying, wow, this whole field is filled.
That's great.
But well received. Yes, the weather worked with us. It never rained. Unfortunately, we had a drought, but fortunately, when I came on board and I said the kids have been on lockdown for 2 years, I want to give children and families a good summer. They had a good summer. So good that, like I said, we're going to continue this. We're going to be moving music and movies into Andy Murphy. We might even have some stuff going on at the council chambers during the winter. But we also, we can use, the city uses Old Dutch Church, and I'll get to that next, for expanded hearings or common
Yeah.
council meetings. So I can justify actually funding events there. So that was a welcome change too, because at first it was like only city property, but you know, since we used Old Dutch so much, and Old Dutch is such a community
Yes.
church, we can actually, select few a function. So I'm just, thank you. I'm very thankful to the Radio Kingston team because they normally do not help us with these little concerts. They were there every time that we had state-of-the-art sound. I think that's what made the crowd come and stay, as opposed to the little, equipment that we would have had to use. So I'm really hoping, the mayor and I have a meeting next week with Radio Kingston and the Clearwater.
Oh,
Stay tuned. I'm not sure what we're doing something big next year.
That's fun.
So upcoming events, I'm very excited. I've been working step by step with Richard Frummis and the Dorsky
for the bank.
for the last year and a half on this Benwick Fall exhibition. And what's different about this exhibit, well, what's uncommon about this particular Dorsky exhibition is that this is a community exhibition that is linking, the Dorsky and SUNY New Paltz with the Kingston community. We not only are having this amazing opening, a lot of the people that been mentored and nurtured, a lot of those artists who
Are part of the
artists now are
exhibition.
coming on Saturday to this opening. We have blown up that iconic picture of Benwick Fall Communications Village. Every one of them is gonna be there. So Richard is so excited, he blew the picture up so we can have,
Oh, the big picture, all of them are gonna be there?
they're all coming.
Oh,
Yes.
lovely.
Lisa, can you talk about what Draw is doing with the Benwick Fall project? Because that was brilliant, that is brilliant.
Oh, with the pub project?
Yes.
Oh, well, they've been working on it since, well, as long as planning has been happening. But, they did a site visit at the Dorsky when they were preparing the show, when they received the artwork from the University of Virginia, or a good portion of it. And, so they started on the, from the back end to learn how that process is going. And then they started to engage, an artist in residence from Brooklyn who is a community arts activist, folk art maker, Don Christian, and he's the artist in residence for the project and will be developing an exhibition as a response and a dialogue with the exhibit, Benwick Fall exhibit that will be up at the Bay space. So, Laura's starting now to work with them on weekly on printmaking, learning how to, printmaking and then they'll engage with the artists in residence through the month of October. And then the result could be a multimedia exhibit or
I think Laura said that they were going over to Harambe and having an exhibition there. Is
Yeah,
that-
that's what- yeah.
There you go.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's the culmination in November, which is part of the Heritage.
Right, yes. And also, Marge Menard with the library is doing something related to Marywick Fall, because we know that she was working with the migrant children and textiles or something like that, so that's in the
She was a
works.
formidable artist.
I know, so this is like, something different for Dorsky, is that they're actually connecting,
And it's
one
not
of
only the Dorsky, the entire campus is being involved in, at least the Department of Art and Fine Arts is really getting involved in take Ben also as part of the curriculum for the different departments. And also reaching out the other communities that are considered also always excluded from this thing. So,
And also, the Black Studies Division, because as we know, Ben Wigfall, A.J. Williams Myers, Margaret Wade Lewis, they were, and I hate to use this term, but I feel that, what they went through, because I'm hearing more and more stories now that I'm working closely with Essie Lewis and creating the Margaret Wade Lewis Center in New Paltz, that it was an affirmative action thing. When you brought in these Black professors to start the Black Studies, they were tokens, and it wasn't a welcome
Yeah.
There was not really a welcome wagon. They really did not, they went through a lot.
Yeah,
And
and
then-
still,
And
and still.
then also had to fight hard to get serious recognition for Black artists.
Yep.
Because back in that time, it just wasn't like, no, well, you can go and, well, it was the same thing as classical. I went through that as a classical singer. So-
Actually, Hub is connecting Bard College to the whole project as well, and to the Dorsey. We've been working with Casey.
Casey.
And he's going, we have a Bard, we're having a field trip to Bard to look at the Black College.
Yeah.
The curator of the show is from the Acres World,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, but within the
Drew
context,
from Hitzenberg.
the students are gonna be experiencing the exhibit within that framework of working with the Wigfall work and the artist in residence, so it's really beautiful.
That's cool.
Yeah. So I'm gonna
Substitution thing happening.
I'm gonna keep going because you're only gonna have 20 minutes. New Year's Eve, this will be the finale.
New Year,
New Year's Eve.
that's so far from them.
No, it's not. The finale, because I really can't have a finale,
Yeah.
the 150th celebration, right? Because, to me, the beginning of this was really uncomfortable for me. I am the Arts and Cultural Affairs Director. We had an event here and there was just, from Juan Figueroa to Rita Worthington and, it was uncomfortable. And so to have our Kingston Revealed celebration, which embraces everybody. And then to end the year, I'm hosting and sponsoring through my office, Ars Corellis at Old Dutch Church. And the chorale, the program will be revolving around Langston Hughes' Make America America Again. Let America be America again. And I don't know if you know that poem, but that poem speaks to the pain of every single being outside of the oppressors. So it includes us all colors, everybody's extreme challenges, the Negro, the laborer, the poor white man, he speaks to everybody's. But at the end, we're gonna celebrate in a unified way. So that will be how we end the 150th year. I think it's very appropriate. And I just want to speak very quickly of something else that's groundbreaking. The mayor and I were invited by Coyote Old Song, Elder Paul Tobin, who is the president of the the Association of Native Americans of the Hudson Valley, to participate in gift exchanges at the tree renewal ceremony and the tree planting at the Clearwater last month. And, it turns out that the mayor is third generation Mohawk. His grandfather was third generation Mohawk. However, the city, that's the county. The city of Kingston has never established formal relations with the Native Americans who are all still here. And maybe not visible because back in the day, it was safer for Native American to say, I'm Black, safer to say you're Black. Safer to say you're white, safer to say you're Latin. So we feel very strongly that, that it's time now for the mayor to be able to say, I'm sorry. What Coyote Old Song and Tecumseh Red Cloud want to do is they want to have a ceremony. I talked to Lisa about this the other day, wiping of tears, condolences, and then moving forward together as brothers and sisters. In establishing more of a formal relation. I know that, some years back, they had approached the city wanting a powwow. And when they asked to meet with me, I said, that's a little ambitious. Let's start with a day. Let's start with, and then move up to maybe a powwow. I don't know if it can happen in the city of Kingston. Maybe it can happen somewhere else.
Years ago, I know that they do the two row.
The 2 row, yeah.
Yeah, they did, but it was the county too.
But we're not talking about, we're talking 3 days camp out, the whole thing.
Yeah, that was really.
Also, when I said, okay, my thoughts are that, a formal apology is due, and we need a plaque. I gotta talk to Shippo about, installing
Yeah.
a permanent plaque. Ward Mintz had sent me some beautiful, statements that, the plaques that are outside of, the Met. The, Henry Street settlement, and, yes, it is an apology, but it's also a promise that we know
Yeah.
that this is sacred land, and we promise to keep it sacred. So I asked Paul Tobin, I said, well, what did you want? He said, we would like land, we would like property. I'm like, oh, okay, we're gonna work on that too. Well, like I talked to Bartek, and, the first thing that Bartek, our housing, director said, he said, but the city doesn't really own anything nice. And I said, and he said, however,
But you have to start for something.
selling it for a dime. We just did this for Gregory McCullough.
Yeah.
And when I said this, when I asked Paul, I said, well, where's the support? The support is coming from the tri-state area.
Yeah.
When we meet with the mayor next week, it's gonna be amazing, because Paul has a whole list of all the support. We're talking carpenters, plumbers, American everything that can refab a building together.
Yeah.
It's a very united front. So I'm very proud to say that we're opening that relationship in a formal way, and I was overwhelmed. They'd given me a native name. I'm Shinnecock Mohawk Montauk, and Coyote Old Song said, well, you've never been given a name, so I'm gonna give you a name. Your name is Blue Heron Woman.
Blue herring.
And I'm just a little, I'm overwhelmed, but I'm also overwhelmed by the stories he tells me.
Yeah.
We also went, I'm gonna stop, but we also went together to the reburial ceremony at Harambe when they had exhumed, well, they had to rebury right away because they exhumed a baby.
Yeah,
So they had adult remains, but they also had the remains of a child, a baby, that they're not gonna do any DNA testing, so of course that's immediate. So Tyrone, tapped me. Paul Tobin made Harambe some pipes and some gifts. And we all went together, and it was very emotional when Coyote Old Song took the microphone and started saying what I was saying earlier, that we had to hide behind slates
yeah.
to be safe.
You can imagine what
You
that
had
means,
to hide behind slates. So, it's, according to Joe Diamond, we feel that probably it's possible that Native Americans are also buried in High Street Burial Ground. It's an old burial ground. So that ceremony was very emotional. Coyote Old Song started actually crying when he was presenting pipes and gifts to Tyrone and the officers. I think Tyrone was really, touched. They want to establish relationships with Harambe too, and they want to help take care of the burial ground, and they want to come and plant an apple tree there. So I'm loving this. Forming of a relationship of the city of Kingston based, the Arts and Cultural Affairs. I think that, bringing it under Arts and Cultural Affairs first, who knows, maybe there'll be a formal Native American Affairs Commission of the city of Kingston at one point. But it's, like I said, baby steps.
Yeah.
Let me work you under the music and movies under the stars, and then let's build it into a day-long festival, and then let's talk about how we can all collectively, like my great old and deceased Uncle Little Bear used to say, if you've got one drop of Native American blood, you're Native.
Yeah.
And we all probably do, with the stories that we know. So I'm just glad to report that those relationships are getting started. They want a relationship with all the organizations. They want to come and they want to do crafts and whatever at all the organizations. They're not going to wait for a bill.
And most important, Paul Tobin loved the arepas. I have to say that he really loved it. And he was telling Coyote, the good stuff is on the basket.
Yeah,
And
that's
I
right.
couldn't believe that he said that, like,
Yeah.
tell the elders, the good stuff is in the basket. It was great.
It's beautiful, right?
It was great, yeah. So, no, I'm really glad that those things are happening. It's about time. I understand that anything, everything is gonna take some time. But it's great to be seeing those things and to see that there are happening collaborations, different organizations are jumping in. So it seems that the community is really understanding what collaboration means, or at least the importance of doing that. So I hope that we can continue pushing the car that way.
It's great.
It's lovely, it's beautiful.
That our mayor is interested and involved, that's great.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of mayors who would have
He's
no.
third generation.
Yeah,
His great grandfather was full-blood alcoholic.
Some leadership would not be, as into it, so that's, I think that's.
True, that is true. It's a delicate path to pave,
Yeah,
when you're, civic leader.
Yep,
yeah.
absolutely.
So.
That's good. I don't think that we will have much time to look at the rules and the other things that we cannot really vote, but Peter, since this is your last meeting official, and I'm hating you for that, I would like to hear if you have any feedback, or even if you leave the commission,
Right.
would you like to be involved in the conversation? Because it seems like in October, I'm not sure if we are gonna go deep with this or with the master plan or both.
Please.
So,
I appreciate it, I'm gonna take a break.
uh,
I'm doing this because I need to take a break.
Yeah, I know.
I've got so much.
But I needed to
on the
try.
County level, that I just need to focus on work and county.
But you're also helping keep ARPA manager
Yeah.
on board, though, so.
Yeah, all that's gonna be is just
Yeah.
a one conversation. I'm hoping to get the ARPA team lead from the county to come in on that conversation too. So it can get from a legislator point and from the ARPA manager from the county, because he does more of the technical stuff. And so if Bill can do both, I think that'd be really good. So, yeah, so.
Yeah.
well, that's good. But anyway, if eventually, you would like to give some input, please feel free if you feel inclined to do so.
In my free time.
In your free time. Keep, I don't know if keep the hard copy for next meeting. We can take one to do our notes, but keep them for October.
Yeah.
When the rest of the commissioners, and please submit your feedback. And if there is no feedback and eventually we can move forward, that's good too.
Yeah.
But I would like to.
How many spaces now are open on the Arts Commission? So mine and Susie's?
Yeah.
So it's two.
Yeah,
Everything else is filled.
it looks like,
Forgot Brent. Was he filled?
yeah.
Right, okay, so two. Because I'm gonna push it amongst people who I think might be. good
Yeah,
for
that was another thing that I wanted to talk to you before you leave, but you didn't allow me to do so.
Oh.
That's okay, but I guess that when word is back, at some point we need to call then the executive committee and pull all the applications that we have
Well, you're
there.
probably, you're gonna need to elect, I'm the vice chair right now, so you're gonna need to re-elect a new vice chair. and
Yeah.
Reform the executive committee. So-
Yeah, so that was my thing but it's okay, it's just that things are getting accumulated for October, that meeting is gonna be packed. So maybe we can call like an executive session separated from the monthly meeting to get things done.
And there are specific duties for the executive
Yep.
committee, it's listed out as a committee, so if somebody's interested, they should.
Yeah, so I guess that I'm gonna send a few emails before the meeting, so please give some feedback after you get those. Well, you just have to tell the two of you because the rest is not here. I have to tell everybody. Please get that, okay, because we have like a lot and we cannot keep kicking the ball for.
And again, thank you, it's been, I haven't worked with Bill that long, and we've hardly worked together at all now, but it's been 6 years, and so
Yeah.
I kind of felt like it was important, after 6 years, like, okay.
You're gonna be
somebody else
sorry.
step in and do their thing, so, yeah. Thank you for having me. It's been great actually getting to know the city functions in a different way. And also, I made a little post on Facebook today just to think about what we accomplished in 6 years. It's really amazing. I mean, the fact that we have a permanent position with the city right now, that's huge, that the arts master plan is actually here. And, all this was just little ideas floating around. So to see it step by step grow and happen, I'd love to see like a % for arts happen. And, it'll be really interesting to see what next happens and with this commission. And I love your fire and energy. And so, I've been very proud to be on this commission, and we show me good things.
You, I mean, people, okay, so, and there's a lot of movement going on at the county level right
Yes,
now.
that is true.
Yeah, so who's moving up to county executive?
So
and who's
tomorrow-
up First and
Tomorrow,
second?
Joanna Contreras is sworn in as
The deputy.
yeah, she'll be the interim, it's not interim, it's acting executive. So she'll-
Johanna Contreras,
Yeah.
she's a Hispanic.
Yes, yes.
That's the first Hispanic leader in Oakland County. Oh my God.
Yeah. So she'll take the role until the end of the year, but in November, so
Recently.
it's September 17th, the Democratic Committee is gonna meet to appoint who they are gonna choose to be out of one of three, so.
With the March.
Yeah, Mark Ryder, March Gallagher, or Jen.
Oh, yeah, Mexico, yeah.
So there's those three choices, and then it seems like there is gonna be a Republican candidate who's sort of surfacing, and so there'll be an election in November to appoint someone to take the rest of Pat Ryan's term, so after,
And then January.
and then there'll be another election after that to.
Well, doesn't Pat Ryan have to run in November?
So that's a whole other thing, so Pat
But
now.
he's right now.
Pat is now the congressman, he'll be sworn in a couple of days, congressman of the current
19.
District 19, which was Antonio Delgado's seat. But then he's running in November for the newly configured 18th district,
Okay.
which Kingston is a part of the current 19 and will be a part of the newly
Yeah.
formed 18.
That goes all the way to New York.
I can't believe I actually know all that.
You end up sitting at home and getting your breakfast.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, and that maybe, that's true.
Because it's so confusing. So if he wins 18, which is now us, I
Yes.
think,
Part of us, right?
part of us,
Us,
that's
it's
great,
all
but
Kingston.
if he does
Kingston was made
not,
whole.
Oh, it was?
Yes.
When did that happen?
There was a lot of controversy about Kingston being split and.
Yeah, so
back
they
to
unified.
the special master, or whatever they called that person who's writing maps. I know, I think that's what it was called, I think it was. I know. But they,
Well,
but
now they
they
get
made
to
Kingston whole.
yeah.
So Kingston is
Oh,
whole,
good.
all of 18, but 18 is like Kingston and sort of south. So New Paltz, so Orange County.
The lines are
Yeah.
And everything north of us, like Saugerties, is now gonna be in
The 19th.
the new 19. Yeah.
so if he doesn't, I'm just.
It will be
thinking about
similar.
reality. If he doesn't win 18,
Right.
does he come back to be executive?
No. No,
Yeah.
he cannot come back anymore.
Correct. He has stepped away from that role.
Okay.
So he'll just
so-
run for
He
second or
could.
something.
He could if in the special election he was not elected congressman. At that point, he could have been back.
Gotcha.
But now that he is a congressman, he cannot come back
Okay,
to
so
the
he's
yeah.
completely, okay, that's, okay.
So he needs to win the 18th.
We've got a
It's
lot of
like
shuffling.
one of those games, like follow the ball.
There's a lot of shuffling, and
So,
you
Yeah.
have, the UCAT, director is now settling in.
Yep.
The new
Mhm.
director.
Yep.
And there's just movement.
Yeah.
There's a lot of movement.
Yeah.
So, but I still have a year in my term, so I'm serving the, first
And you're
year of
gonna
my.
run again.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
I said, but I am gonna focus on the arts for next year. I was talking to you a little bit about that. So that's gonna be one of my big focuses, is to try and talk about a more cohesive conversation with Ulster County and the arts, kind of like what we talked about in Kingston with this arts plan. So I will be talking with you about that as a legislator for sure.
Okay. Well, I just.
So you're not getting rid of me.
That's
I
great.
just
That's
want
great.
to acknowledge Brian.
Hi, Brian.
Yeah, Brian's been here. How long have you been the CPW executive?
3 months.
3 months.
Yeah.
3 months.
Oh, excellent.
And already how many exhibitions and this and that and involvement with Woodstock Film Festival?
And now you have that new opening that looks so
Can you
good.
talk about this new opening, because you sent me this piece and I was like, oh my God, this is
And
gorgeous.
one of the photographers worked for Scenic Hudson. When I saw her name, I didn't know that she was a photographer.
Oh, who's that?
Soraya,
Oh,
she worked for Scenic Hudson. I met her at Scenic Hudson, yeah.
so we are on Broadway, 474 Broadway, little storefront, small exhibition space, but we're doing a show that opens September 17th. Art walk.
That day is packed from beginning to end, yeah.
It's called Of Objects and Shadows, and it's curated by Kiana Mestrick, who's a local Latinx photographer based in Socrates. And she was one of the jurors who helped select this year's artist in residence for CPW. So they're living over in our little space in Woodstock, 2 at a time for a month or 6 weeks. But it turned out that because of her influence, this year's class is predominantly Latinx
Yeah.
photographers, really fabulous,
It's amazing.
emerging, like spectacular photographers. So 6 of them, including Donna, are presented in this small exhibition, as well as some of their publications, books and zines that they've been producing, so.
Awesome.
I love it.
Should be really cool. Can I ask you a question?
I love it.
Are you in the process of trying to find a larger space, a new space?
Yes, we are.
And is that moving along?
Yes, it is.
Okay, you don't have to reveal, I just was curious, like, it is in the
Are you
process.
going to Tech City?
It is, no. We are.
Say his
Please no.
We are doing a larger exhibition that opens November 5th at Tech City,
Oh, cool.
which is a big group exhibition, invitational exhibition that we've been planning through the pandemic. But we're also trying to secure a permanent home in Midtown Arts District.
Great,
Excellent.
Yeah, we want you in Kingston.
yeah.
We're definitely here in Kingston to stay.
Cool.
Nice.
That's so great. So I'm so glad of hearing and seeing Hispanic names all over the place.
Well, my dear friend,
Well, it's gonna be.
Saturday,
Thank you.
17th,
The 7th.
5 to 7. We're gonna have a big party.
Okay, great.
Beautiful,
Nice to meet you.
beautiful.
5 to 7 on the 17th.
Yeah,
That's a long
that's
day.
good that it's until 7. I like that it's until 7, because you know, the 17th is also the opening of the exhibition for the Hispanic Heritage Month.
Yes,
But it's early in Poughkeepsie, so it's a numerous group there. So we have to be there for the opening, but early, that's what I was asking you, Kate, if you could move a little bit more, the other thing. And also, we have the storytelling with folktales from Latin America, the 17th in the morning at the Broadway Bubble, together with Midtown Rising.
Wow.
It's a crazy day, I have everything that day, and I want to go to your opening and see Soraya, yeah.
17th and 18th.
you can go to everything else first and then come to our place.
Yeah, because when you say until 7, okay, I can make it until that, yeah.
And maybe,
And also in the artwork, the teaching artists at the draw also have the exhibit
So
there.
how do we wrap this all up so that we can get this word out? Because I don't know anything about what you're doing that morning, you know.
Yeah, it's just that it's still part of the extension of the study.
Okay.
Yes.
But it's our so it's the beginning of the partnership with the bubble. They're just great. Yeah.
I wanna promote it, no, with our newsletter. Event.
I will send you, because I think that Eleanor already said, yeah, I will send you the information, yeah.
I mean, we have our list to share.
Perfect, well, guys,
Motion to adjourn?
come on, you two go. That's the thing. I'm Okay, do you want to do your last motion for the commission?
Motion that we adjourn this meeting.
Oh, second it.
All in favor?
Thank you, everybody.